Spiritual Living Nashville. On loan to us this morning to open and get us all started is a tune by our dear friend, Reverend Donna Michael. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. Join us. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine so bright. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine so bright. You are a light. You are a light. You are a light in this world. You are a light. You are a light. You are a light in this world. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. All of us, we are a light. We are a light. We are a light. We are a light in this world. We are a light. We are a light. We are a light in this world. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. And you shine. You shine. You shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. We shine. We shine. We shine. We shine.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Hi, I'm Marietta Carter. I'm a practitioner here at the Centers for Spiritual Living, but most importantly, I'm your host for today's service. So let me begin by saying it's a pleasure to have you here at CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living Nashville, and I welcome all those who are watching online. Our very own Reverend John Adams is our speaker today, and his talk is on, yay, did I hear yay, 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 okay. And his talk is titled The Divine Masculine. So we're also happy to welcome back to our stage, thank you, Sean O'Shea, as our music director, and Gordon Ellis as our guest artist. Yes. So if you're new here, the Center for Spiritual Living is an inclusive, new thought spiritual community. It's a place where ancient wisdom and practical spirituality meet. We believe that each of us is a unique and individualized expression of the infinite spirit, and that life is an outward expression of that perfect truth. So rather than following a single religious tradition, we draw from the universal spiritual wisdoms. We are grounded in the science of mind philosophy by Ernest Holmes. He taught us that our thoughts have the power to shape our lives, and that love is the greatest transformer in the universe. So our vision is to be a spiritual home that opens hearts, inspires dreams, and transforms lives. Our mission is to help people live the best life through a practical spiritual teaching you can use every day. So wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. Thank you for joining us. So I'm going to start this service today with a short quote that was co-written by Ernest Holmes and Charles Barker. This quote is in the book of daily inspirations called 365 Days of Richer Living. So on page 162, they wrote, "There are no anchors in my world to fashion me down to any situation forever. I accept the ever-changing, ever-unfolding action of God in my experience. I have faith that life impels me into a greater good for myself and for all who comprise my world. I appreciate the past, but it cannot bind me. It cannot bind me to any person, place, or thing. Today is a day of glory, and tomorrow is alive with possibilities." So now I invite you to prepare yourself for a meditation that follows. You can do this by closing your eyes and allowing the words that I say to linger in your mind. Take deep breaths by breathing in through your nose and holding that breath for just a few seconds, and then releasing your breath through your mouth. If you get lost in the process, that's okay. Just go back to breathing in and breathing out. And as you breathe in, say these words silently to yourself. I let life move me forward into greater good. And as you let these words sink in, know that life can only give you what you take. So in this moment, go with the process and be open to allowing yourself to move into a greater feeling of love, a greater feeling of joy, a greater feeling of happiness. You know, you are made from that same creative force that created everything around you. So be open to expressing your creative self. There is no need to wait. Say to yourself, today is my day of glory. You know, be like that little hummingbird that I saw yesterday morning. It was flying freely, and it would stop only to take the sweet nectar from the flowers or the feeders. And as it drank, its little body would shake in delight of all the food that it was taking in. So shake your body. Your food is present. You, my friend, are a seeker of truth because you're with us today. So put everything and anything that is not aligned to your highest good that you can imagine aside. Rearrange your thoughts to conform to the belief that you are the one with power and the presence there is. It is flowing through you as health, happiness, and love. And just say yes to the thought of accepting more good. You know, that little hummingbird was guided by some innate pure intelligence and divine wisdom. It traveled hundreds of miles to be in my backyard. You are not alone. That same intelligence and divine wisdom is available to guide you. This intelligence and wisdom, it comes from you. It's a part of who you are now and forever. So bless everything about you. Have fun with love and with living this life and shake your body and let life move you forward to your greatest good. And so it is.
Well, who knew when I met this gentleman back in probably about 2003 at the Bluebird Cafe and watched him performing one of his wonderful songs that he was about to become a friend of 20 some odd years. And so we welcome today our longtime friend, singer-songwriter, Gordon Ellis.
Thank you. So just wanted to say a word. I'm very grateful to my co-writer and good friend Marty Renone for bringing this song to the table, because it actually helped me to heal my relationship with my father after he was gone. So I hope it's meaningful to you. It's called Chain of Fear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Afraid of my daddy, and he was scared of his father, so I've heard. Seems I come from a long line of angry men, so quick with a discouraging word. I could let it go on like father, like son, but now I've got kids of my own. And it's all in my hands. It's up to me. It's time to start a brand new legacy. I want to look back someday, knowing that while I was here, I did my part to break the chain of fear. Well, Granddaddy passed down his anger from a life of frustration and pain, and Daddy didn't know any better, so he became one more link in the chain. I want to turn all that darkness to patience and love. Let my kids feel how special they are. So it's all in my hands. It's up to me. It's time to start a brand new legacy. I want to look back someday, knowing that while I was here, I did my part to break the chain of fear. I still carry those scars somewhere in my heart, but it's time to forgive and move on, 'cause it's all in my hands. It's up to me, yeah. It's time to start a brand new legacy. I want to look back someday,
Well, that was wonderful. Thanks, Gordon. And thank you, band. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I had the opportunity to see Disclosure Day, you know, the new Spielberg movie. It was, yes, a couple people have seen it. It was, what's interesting about it to me is there's like some dialogue that's happening out in the world about like, and Spielberg himself has said this, that this may disrupt your, you know, religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs. And I didn't find that to be the case at all, you know, and it may be our path, because our path is about, you know, embracing this bigger idea for ourselves, right? We know in our consciousness that we're always expanding, we're always growing. And so picturing something that is brilliant and kind and empathetic and incredibly intelligent makes perfect sense to me, that would be the experience. So I actually found it reinforcing our path, not the opposite. So last week we talked about the divine feminine. This week we want to talk about the divine masculine a little bit. And I want to tell you a couple of stories. This first story is an indigenous story. A seeker goes online into the wilderness, often fasting and praying. The individual cries out for a vision, purpose, or guidance, and receives insight through dreams, animals, the weather, or inner revelation. The wilderness itself becomes the listener and the teacher. And in the Odyssey, Odysseus repeatedly finds himself isolated, lost, and desperate. At key moments, he prays or appeals to the gods, and help arrives in unexpected guides, winds, or encounters. And this brings me to my first quote that I wanted to share with you from Rumi. Your longing for God is God's message to you. That this experience in both the Vision Quest and in the Odyssey, it brings us back to our spiritual truth. This reaching out for or longing for that connection, that coming from that place of feeling separate and apart, but wanting to come back together. That experience is awakening to that oneness, that sense of God, that sense of spirit. And this idea of something being outside that we're trying to grasp to, we're longing for, we're trying to call back to ourselves. That's that energy, that force, that instinct is the divine masculine. It reaches, it longs, it speaks, and is answered by the divine feminine. The whole of creation is in this dialogue that's happening, continually happening. So our capacity to be still and know, right? So just taking a breath as Etta led us through this meditation of just being in the stillness, that beautiful space, and knowing this inner truth is the divine masculine energy. Stillness in our human experience requires guarding against intrusion, against the clamor, against, or just creating a container in which we can go deeper and deeper. And that container is what is created through the power of divine masculinity. Not power over, but power with. And this is the spiritual warrior. The divine masculine is the spiritual warrior. It is that in us that speaks truth to power. It is the guardian of our boundaries and keeps us safe, and it keeps us safe and peace, and holds the truth for us to always experience and come back together in and rest in. It is that patient, steady arm of inner knowing and inner wisdom, that energy of strength and fortitude holding our gentleness, holding us with great care in our spiritual home, in our sangha, in our community. As the guardian, the divine masculine energetically holds space for the irreducible freedom for each soul. That freedom that isn't about something that I give to you, you give to me. It is something that is gifted through our divine nature. It is who we are. We are born into this as spiritual beings having this human experience. And this idea of accessing that spiritual truth, that spiritual essence, that thing called God, higher spirit, higher power, whatever your word or phrase is to understand that we have access to that unearned, ungated, unmediated. It is ours to always be in access to. And this is what the divine masculine creates, a space in which we can go there. So we know that there are, you've probably experienced this certainly in this area, in this part of the country, the two divergent paths, right? There's the path that says you were born from and inheriting original sin, which says we must dutifully work to expunge it and please a God that just sits separate and distant and judging our progress. That we are always working to move ourselves being worthy of this spiritual experience. The other path is that spirit within, that God within, that truth within. Heaven is within. Spirit is accessible to everyone directly. There is no separation or sin or otherwise that divides us from our spiritual truth. So in one path, we're trying to work our way back and earn our way back into this spiritual truth, this spiritual heaven, this spiritual blessing. And in the other path, we are already there. We're just getting rid of anything that gets in the way of that. So the divine masculine in that context is the guardian of freedom, the guardian of the soul's freedom to know itself as spirit. So we say this over and over again, right? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. The human experience is very compelling. It's very immediate. It's very real in our experience, right? So it bears repeating that, oh, right, I'm actually a spiritual being having this human experience. I'm actually a spiritual being having this human experience. And there's a certain daringness to that, like I'm daring myself, like a call on courage to say that this body, this humanness, is only the surface of things. And that great revealing is to know that we are spirit. And the guardian, that spiritual guardian, that spiritual warrior, holds space for us to know this truth. And as it's creating this safe space, which is something we all do, right? So this isn't relegated to a particular gender. We are all inhabiting and experiencing and expressing divine feminine and the divine masculine. So this is something that we all do. And it illustrates how all of it lives within us, regardless of gender identity. So there's a quote by Ernest Holmes that I wanted to share with you. And it says, "The word is the masculine principle of being. It penetrates the formless and calls forth form. To speak your word with conviction is to participate in the original creative act." So the idea here is, and we'll get into it in a little bit, but the idea here is that the divine masculine is the word, the idea, the thing that wants to come forward. The divine feminine is that which brings it forward, that which births it into being. It's worth considering this about the guardian, the spiritual warrior. The courage to, the spiritual guardian, the spiritual warrior is that energy within us, that consciousness within us that is the courage to speak truth when silence is easier. The courage to remain open when closing down feels safer. I know that experience. The courage to love without a guarantee of someone returning that love or anything returning that love. The courage to stand for someone else's freedom at personal cost. The courage to face the shadow in one's self, in our community, in our world. Because facing it allows us to change it. Rilke has this striking image in the Book of Hours. It talks about God as the one who is always approaching, always requiring us to grow, always larger. I'm sorry, I can talk. Mealy mouth. God is the one who is always approaching, always requiring us to grow larger, to receive truth. It's the inner nudge. It's that inner, like, wait a minute, there's something more happening here. Wait a minute, there's something, this thing is and I think when you come into a spiritual community like this, we're all having that little inner voice, that inner, I think of it as a bell, a little bell that rings and goes, wake up. There's something else happening here besides just this materialistic form, this earthbound form. The spiritual warrior is the one who doesn't flee that approach, but meets it. Not to get too much into the shadow, but we all are very aware, I'm sure, of like the extreme presentation of the masculinity in our world, that thing often referred to as toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is not the essence of masculinity. It is masculinity that has lost contact with its own depth. It is the guardians who have forgotten what they protect, warriors who fight because they fear the stillness, the inner light, the inner life. The warrior becomes violent, aggression turned outward, because it cannot face the inner revelation of self. So what we find, and I have said this before, is that this path we're on, that we're working through together, it requires of us a certain amount of courage, a certain amount of daringness, a certain amount of saying, I am not content to just float along and be a victim of circumstance and be a victim of, like, let the winds blow me whichever way they're going to blow me, and just accept. But to stand and go, wait a minute, I am the creator of my experience. I have that in me which creates this outward picturing, this out picturing of this life experience, and I can change it. The famous Ernest Holmes quote, there is a power for good within you and you can use it, right? In this shadow form, the guardian becomes controlling, protecting through domination, mistaking possession for provision. I gotta own it all. Then I'll maybe share, maybe not. But as long as I've got mine, everything's fine, right? The Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna collapses before the battle, not from cowardness, but because he is confronted with the full weight of what force costs. We start to see that. I think we all see that at some point or another. We get into that aggression, and we start to see the price we pay to indulge in it. Krishna doesn't shame him. He expands him. This is the antidote, not less strength, but deeper strength, rooted in Dharma, in service to something larger than our ego. This quote for you from Rumi. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. And that is probably the synthesis of what we're here and about. We are here to call out and hold each other with love and compassion, all those ways in which we clutter up our expression of pure unconditional love. And as we do that, it becomes easier and easier to let it go. Because so often when we're covering ourselves up in this situation, it's because we're protecting ourselves from something. We have this sort of idea that the more I can insulate myself, the more I can build walls around me, or I can build any kind of defensiveness around me, then I'm safe. But as the Course in Miracles would tell us, and if you don't know Course in Miracles is a spiritual teaching. It's a psychological teaching that moves you from fear to love. It articulates the idea that there's only two things in the world. There's fear and there's love. And we are always moving out of fear and into this love. And in that, there's a lesson that says, if I defend myself, I am attacked. Meaning that I'm holding the consciousness of creating this defense around me, tells me that there is something from which I must be defended. So I'm already creating the consciousness that is attacking, that is inviting that in. And the minute I let that go, this is the power of vulnerability. We've been hearing a lot about that these days, right? The power of vulnerability, the power of letting it go, of being defenseless, allows ourselves to be in pure love. And that love is more powerful than we can even fathom. Once we do that, whomever it is, whatever it is, wherever we are withholding, it is no longer a thing. This can happen in relationships. It can happen as illness and disease, because that's how it manifests itself through us. It's got to come out somewhere. It's going to outpicture somewhere. But the minute that we understand that this is really not a thing, because in truth, I am this perfect spiritual being, whole, perfect, and complete, and always expressing and ever available to this, then that stops having any power. It can't have any power over me. And so if it has no power, it dissipates. And so we come back again and again to our inner truth, that inner knowing, that inner light of, I am perfect, whole, and complete. All is well. Everything is working out in ways expected, and definitely, at least for me, in ways unexpected. And for me, I actually really like the unexpected, because it's always it's like a surprise. It's like a joy of, look at life unfolding in front of me. Look at this power of spirit unfolding in front of me. That to me is so exciting and so reinforcing of this truth. Sometimes the masculine is quietly sidelined as a corrective to the patriarchy. We are calling in a healthy divine masculine energy, one that is not about dominance and rigidity. A spiritual warrior or spiritual guardian in this context would be someone that lives from spiritual conviction. We have conviction in our spiritual truth. We take loving action in the world. We protect what is sacred without becoming combative. Use power in service of healing and inclusion. Embody both strength and compassion, because it takes, I think, even a great depth of strength to really hold space and hold compassion for everyone. And I mean everyone. So anytime we're holding someone, you can think of anybody you want, you can call out any, there's plenty of people in the world, politicians, billionaires, I don't know, all kinds of different characters running around the world where you can think of and you go, listen, I'm into unconditional love, I'm into unconditional compassion, but not them. I mean, no, I'm sorry. That's a bridge too far. That's just, you're asking too much of me. But what happens when we can start to see them in light of, can you imagine if you're someone that is running around the world creating and promulgating fear in whatever way you're doing it, how much fear you yourself must be in, because that's your outpicturing. And if I can see them as someone who's suffering, it is much easier for me to have compassion for them. And that's what we're called on to do. That's what we're about. The thing that I thought about was, and I'm really, really, truly not getting political here, but I am thinking about this activity in the world that has really bothered me, which have been ICE agents, the way ICE agents have been showing up in their aggression. And it's not to say that what they're doing is good or bad. If you think they're doing great work, that's great. If you think that they need to be stopped, that's great. That's up to you. But what I think about is they're going in and meeting these people and dealing with these immigrants. What if they came in as helpers? What if they said, oh, hey, you're new here. There is a path for you to be a part of this American experience. I want to help you on that path, not just throw you out. But and if for some reason there are laws that say you cannot be here, well, we'll work through that too. We'll figure that out too. It may be that you can't come here right now, but maybe there's a path down the road. But they could be helpers instead of combatants. And in that context, I would imagine they wouldn't need to wear masks. In Exodus, laws were given to the people who have just been freed, right? Woo. The divine masculine, as lawgiver, isn't imposing restriction. This is where we can get a little mixed up. It isn't imposing restriction. The divine masculine is drawing a circle wide enough for a whole people to live freely within it. Boundaries as the architecture of freedom. I think that's what spiritual community is. I think that's what this spiritual community is. We are inclusive, we are welcoming, we are holding everybody in love and light, and yet we do create a container here. We create boundaries here to say, you're welcome here, as long as you understand that we all love and respect each other. And if you cannot express that, then maybe this isn't the right place right now. Because you are always welcome, but you have to be willing and open and available to sharing your heart and sharing your strength and sharing your wisdom and sharing all your gifts with this community unconditionally. In other words, you're not just selecting, oh, you look like me, you get all my gifts. You don't look like me, you don't get anything. Can't do that here. That's not what we're about. As we start to really think about this in context to last week's talk, we can start to see how these different energies come together, the divine masculine, the divine feminine. And Thomas Troward, I have this little excerpt for you. If you don't know Troward, he's a philosophical, he was a judge and really studied a lot of Eastern philosophy. You know, the history of New Thought is really, really interesting to me because you get into Quimby, Phineas Quimby, who kind of started a lot of this. And Quimby, through the work that he was doing, found this connection between the mind and the body, the mind-body connection. And then, of course, it expands out to be our emotional connections, our interpersonal connections, and all this. And we start to get into this idea of, oh, our thoughts are creating our reality. And what Troward did, because he was in the East at the time, working in India, he studied a lot of the Eastern philosophies and found that there was this teaching, this sort of discovery that Quimby did, was already being taught and celebrated for thousands of years in the East. So anyway, Troward says, the spirit is the sum total of all consciousness. It is the masculine or initiating principle which first conceives the idea and then presents it to the feminine or receptive principle for development into form. This is from the Edinburgh Lectures. So Troward's whole system is built on this polarity, the spirit, masculine, initiating, and law, feminine, receptive, and formative. Which is love and law that we talk about here. Emmett Fox, another great writer, if you haven't read Emmett Fox, he's got, trying to think of what the book was. It's the Beatitudes, but that's not the name of the book. But it's really, really good. Anyway, Emmett Fox wrote about the divine masculine as the witness, the pure awareness that knows itself, the ability to step back, observe, and choose. The divine masculine at its highest is never about taking up space. It is about creating, protecting, and defending the space in which life itself moves freely. From Shiva Purana, it says, without Shakti, Shiva is inert. Without Shiva, Shakti has no ground. They are one appearing as two. Divine masculine, divine feminine appearing as two, but there is one. The word, this divine masculine, the calling out, the longing for reconciliation, this longing for, I feel separate from spirit, but something in me longs for that separation to be healed, right? And law, the feminine principle, receptive, forming, manifesting. She receives every word spoken into consciousness and brings it forth in form without judgment or resistance. And then love, that force that animates all of it and is in all of us. It is that great co-creative activity of spirit that blends these energies into demonstrating and experiencing wholeness. Wholeness as spirit, wholeness as human, wholeness expressed in and through us in all its capacities. So wholeness of body, wholeness of finances, wholeness of our emotions, our psychology, wholeness in our work, wholeness in all aspects of our lives. Another way to think about it is, in the one life, the warrior and the mystic are one movement. The inward descent into spirit and the outward returning, bearing its fire. We come in, we process, we have this spiritual experience, we come back, we move into the world, and we are active, we are vital, we are in activity, we are in relationship, we are in expression of this spirit. This is that fiery activity of life that is so abundant and so beautiful. This one life expressing as the sacred masculine stands at the threshold of every soul, not to limit, but to protect the infinite space in which spirit knows itself as free. And so, kind of closing out this talk about divine masculine, divine feminine, what comes to me is at some point it stops being about masculine and stops being about feminine. It's just human. It's just spirit. It's just life. It's just us. All of us. And we all inhabit all these aspects within ourselves. And it's the endless fascinating experience of just knowing ourselves as these complex, fascinating expressions of dynamic spirit in real time, in the here and now. And to recognize that as we allow ourselves to be more and more in expression of this peace, this love, this joy, this connectivity, this undefendedness, we become ever more powerful. And as we hold the thought that all is well, all is well. So let's take this into prayer. And I'm going to invite our practitioners up to hold space for us. And the idea here is that practitioners here have gone through a training and a study to hold space, to understand these truths, to clear anything that is getting in the way of their own unconditional love, to really hold this truth for us. This is our path that's different from other spiritual paths. This makes us unique in that we hold this love, this peace, this truth, and these beautiful souls who've said yes to this are deep and rich in spirit, and will hold this truth for you. So just breathing in with me now, just knowing and affirming that love, that life, that God, that truth is within. And celebrating that, knowing that the divine masculine holds space for us to just have this moment of recognition of this source, this light. And knowing that we are one with it, that there is no separation. The separation evaporates. That as we release any tension, any resistance, we find ourselves just being one with the one with the source that is always present and is never in absence. And so from this place, I just say a word of blessing upon this time and this community, this teaching, this insight. And for each and every single person who's receiving whatever it is they're receiving today, to know that they are taking it in to deepen their own experience of God, of their own experience of spirit, their own experience of source. And so I know for each and every single person, as they do this and as they hold in mind that which they are calling in to ever more deepen that love, that expression, that demonstration of this spirit, I know that it is being made so right here, right now. I know that whatever is needing healing is healed. I know whatever is needing abundance is abundant. I know whatever is needing harmonizing is harmonized. I know that for each and every single soul here that all is well. I know this. And even if you struggle to know it yourself, you know that I know it. And sometimes that's just enough. So allowing that to be, I express great gratitude for it, knowing this is absolutely the truth. Allowing it to be, I release it now into the action of the law, that divine feminine that brings it into form, that brings it into manifestation, knowing that it is all one. So grateful. I let it be. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Reverend John. So now is the time to give back to that which serves you. If you found this message spiritually uplifting to you, I encourage you to be a part of the giving and receiving. And so I'm going to ask Jacqueline and Cynthia to come on down. Come on down. Yeah. And thank you for your service today. So they're here to take up a collection. And if, in addition to the baskets that are being passed, we have a few other ways that we can accept your gift at the center. There's QR codes around out in the community room and such. If you're watching online, there's a link that you should see on the screen. And of course, we do have a mailing address. We do have a physical address. Just look on our website for that. If y'all could just say with me, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you for your loving gifts.
1, 2, 3, 4. Through the breathless southern heat of a restless summer night came a black cloud roaring like a train gone wild, taking everything in sight. As we stood in the shattered ruins of what once had been our home, crying, Daddy, Daddy, what are we gonna do? Everything is gone. His eyes were filled with tears, but his voice was calm. He said, we're strong stuff. We won't let it get us down. We can build this house again, and we'll all rebuild the town. 'Cause we're strong stuff, and that strength's gonna get us through. So let's roll up our sleeves and pick up the pieces. We've got a lot to do. I was 17 when I met Sally Ann. Crazy kids in love, we married young, throwing caution to the wind. But on the day she turned 21, she took all I had and ran. God, I thought I could see that big black cloud coming right at me again. But with a hand on my shoulder, there was my old man. Hey, we're strong stuff. You can't let it get you down. You can build your life again. Give it time, your heart'll rebound. 'Cause we're strong stuff, and that strength's gonna get you through. So roll up your sleeves and pick up the pieces. You got a lot to do. But a man becomes a son again as his son becomes a man. Then all the lessons and all the love are given back again. It was a breathless August day when Mama passed away, and that paragon that I leaned upon was leaning now on me. After 40 some odd years, all the love of his life was gone. And as we stood there fighting back the tears, waiting for words to come, those words that once were his became my own. Dad, we're strong stuff. We won't let it keep us down. You're not alone, you got your sons. We'll always be around. And we're strong stuff. That strength will get us through. So let's roll up our sleeves and pick up the pieces. We got a lot to do. Yeah, we're strong stuff. Oh, we won't let it get us down. We can build our lives again. Give it time, our hearts will rebound. 'Cause we're strong stuff, and that strength will get us through. So let's roll up our sleeves and pick up the pieces. We got a lot to do.
Gordon Ellis.
Thank you, Gordon. Thanks, everybody. Spence, Don, Sean, thanks everybody for being here and such beautiful music. We're very blessed to have such great artists in our community, so thank you. There is our program that I just lost somewhere. Is it on the floor? Oh, my word. Where have I gone? The program. Now, we don't usually do announcements or on the program, but I am going to have to call out a couple things because deadline is upon us. So if you want to sign up for our book study, today would be the day to do it. If you want to sign up for the class that I'm running, Light Makers, you have to do it today. Otherwise, we're going to do something different. We won't do that one. We'll do something different. We've got the parade coming up, so we have an online sheet for you to sign up for, just so we know if you're coming or not. You can still come if you don't sign up on the sheet. But what the sheet does is allows you to order a T-shirt, and we have to put the order in like tomorrow so we can get them in time for the parade. So it's free or for a love offering, and hope you'd consider the love offering to help us out there. So take a look at that when you get home. And then next week, we're doing coffee and conversation after the service, where I'll just pull a chair out there and sit and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. But it's potluck. So if you feel inclined, you feel motivated, please bring something to share. And everything else is in the thing. If your visitors are here for the first time, is there anybody here for the first time? I don't think so. But if you are thinking about coming down and visiting us, or if you're new online, welcome. I hope you'll find something that you're searching for and make this your spiritual home. And hello, online community. How are you? Good to see you. I'm so glad you're with us today. And of course, if you're, please don't leave with anything heavy on your heart. We have practitioners that you saw earlier that will be happy to hold space for you, hold prayer for you, and pray for whatever is going on in your life. And they are, I have to say, bragging a little bit, pretty powerful. So I would definitely take advantage of that. And they're beautiful, beautiful souls. So thank you. Now we'll do our closing affirmation. You'll say this with me. The power from within expresses through me. Today I am whole, healed, and restored. Today I joyfully receive my abundance. Today the truth has set me free, and so it is. That's you.
Taking it out. All right. So perhaps you will remember this song.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us here and now. It's in every one of us to be free. Find your heart, open your eyes and see. We can all have everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, you and I.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if we're moving or not.
This program is a service of the Center for Spiritual Living Nashville. May your life be filled with joy and prosperity in every way. Learn more about our programs or contact one of our practitioners at our website, cslnashville.org. You may also want to follow us on Facebook at CSLNASH. You can make a big difference with your financial gift at loveCSLN.com. Please share the link to this program with a friend and join us again next Sunday. Have a wonderful week.